watching the biggest, the largest, the highest, the greatest, the toughest and the tallest African spiritual platform. I'm always Queen Hadasha. Call me Empress Makida. I am Labraska, the sun goddess. Don't forget, I am the true bloodline. I am your world star number 8. Hey, me din do so chain. Chrese mu wo me din ni pa wa ha wo hu. Me din kwa betimi aye election ama one president to be winning. Cause it's over 8. Be breaking the 8. Me din kwa, not my personality. I welcome you, my people, with love, 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 and hate, hate. It's our slogan. My consciousness family, I love you guys. My pals, I do love you, love you, love you. I welcome you to the greatest show ever in the world. Let's welcome our guest for today. He's one of our fathers on set who is going to discuss our topic or our vision. Man, know thyself. Who are you? Who am I? Who is who? That's what we are going to discuss. Let's welcome him on the platform and let's know who he is. Papa, we welcome you to Revelations.
Thank you.
Great. So today is your first time?
Yes.
So you pay obeisance to my followers. Facebook and YouTube, we are going to like 500,000 people. You have to greet them. Introduce yourself to us. We are ready for anything. Adam and Eve, the snake himself, the devil, we are ready for anything. We are not limited. So introduce yourself to us, who you are, what you do, and why you are here.
Okay, viewers of the show, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Bafwan Senchira Kusa, also known as John TETEGAH, or the other way around, John TETEGAH, also known as Bafwan Senchira Kusa.
Okay.
I've for many years been interested in the subject of spirituality. So what I'm going to talk about today is about spirituality, more so than religion. This subject has interested me for over 35 years. So I'm a practicing, I can't say that, because everybody is actually practicing, but I'm a practicing spiritual person who I'm trying my best to find out if there is God, then there must be some kind of way we can get to him directly, be one-on-one with him. And therefore, that is what I'm coming to tell viewers about today. I hope my journey will be able to impact others so that they can also take up a journey just like mine and be able to come up with the same beautiful effects of the journey that I have acquired, and which I think is necessary for every single human being. Now this journey, it is the journey that all the preceptors, all the religions have always wanted to give. But for some reason, religion itself divides the journey into two, the orthodox and the occult. Then it hides the occult and calls it secret knowledge, and then gives the basic to the congregation. So the congregation know the basic. They know that God is outside and we are his creation, but the aspect of whether he created us in his own image is never dealt upon in our religious groups. It's made a secret. The Muslims have it, the Christians have it, the Buddhists have it. Everybody has the secret, but they never come out with the secret. Today, I will tell your viewers some of the secrets that I have acquired over the course of my 35 years.
We welcome you.
Thank you.
We want to know the secret, but before we proceed, let's clear this part and see what and know where we are going. Right now, the knowledge you are coming to share with us, what is the source of this knowledge?
You see, I was sitting in my room. I had finished university, totally despondent. I was wondering, what am I coming out into the world to do? My mother, she's passed on. she was the one who, out of her compassion, she gave me 2 books. I had never read the books. I went to school in Russia. We were taught atheism, where you are taught that even God does not exist, that God was brought into the picture just to capture the minds of mankind so that they could be ruled easily. So I was not interested in God. So my mother had brought these books and I had kept them on my table for a while. So, you know, I thought, well, since now I've finished school, let me look at these books. So I opened one, and it was by one teacher called Satya Sai Baba. He's a spiritual teacher from India. But he propagates all the world religions together and says that all religions are one. He says there's only one religion, the religion of love. There's only one God, He's omnipresent. There's only one language, the language of the heart. So I opened this book. And in it, the first paragraph, it says, you are not who you think you are. You are not who others think you are. You are who you really are. I said, what's that supposed to mean? So I went deeper a little, and it says, you are pure consciousness. Pure consciousness. Pure consciousness means the source of all creation. The universal absolute, limitless, eternal, big words. I was reading this thing, I was thinking, wow, what is this going to turn out into? So that's how I like to introduce the subject. The listener must first understand that whoever they think they are, whoever others have said they are, whoever or whatever they've heard about themselves is not the real truth. The real truth is that they are something totally different, something they are yet to find out about. But the teacher who was writing the book, he knew who he was. He knew this pure consciousness. So it's this pure consciousness which we're going to talk about. Pure consciousness is spirit.
Okay, that's your topic. Right now, we want to know the source of your message. So can you say
Satya Sai Baba.
So it's a book?
No,
is your source
it's a teaching
or a vision?
It's a teaching.
Your source is a teaching.
Yes, a teaching.
Okay.
So the teachings come, and obviously it's the same teachings because I also had the Bible. So I had to also read the Bible to find out I'm a Christian. So I had to find out if this thing is the same. Did Jesus also preach the same gospel, or is it something new? So I found out that it was the same gospel and the teaching that Jesus gave. Just that the missionaries, when they came here, gave us some washed down thing because they didn't want to empower us. They rather wanted to disempower us. So they gave us the washed down Christianity where we constantly are praying to something out there whilst the thing is actually inside of us. Jesus himself was asked, Rabbi, you say, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of heaven. Where is this kingdom of heaven that you speak about all the time? And then Jesus said to his disciples, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So it's not like the teachings I'm referring to are some special teachings. They're the same teachings, just that who is teaching and who is learning becomes the issue. Whether the person teaching wants to give you the total truth, to make you free, to empower you, and to make you use all the potential that God has given you, or the person wants to disempower you and use you whilst you wait for some supposed heaven or some supposed hell that if you don't follow those particular teachings will take you to. So that's in a nutshell.
Okay, so to you, does God exist?
Yes, he exists as you and I. Right now, as everything that is around us, living, non-living, that's pure consciousness. When we close our eyes, everything leaves. The senses that we have, they give us this objective world. They make this real. If you were not to see, your reality would be totally different. If you were not to hear, your reality would be different. If you could not feel, so the senses have their own. Then we have a mind that also processes what we see, etc., etc., and divides it. That's a chair, that's a table, that's that's you, that's me.
Are
that's
you
him.
saying we are God?
Yes.
We are God?
Yes.
What's the difference between God and the Supreme Being or the Creator?
You see, when we say we are God, we first have to understand that we're not talking about the physical body. We all refer to things like, this is my purse, my handkerchief, this is my body. My body, these are my eyes. The handkerchief is separate from me when I say my handkerchief. But when I say my body, then I go and refer to the body as me. That's the first mistake that we make. So far as we're referring to the body as my body, there must be something that owns the body, something that makes the body work, something that makes the body hear, talk, think. That thing is who you are. That thing is what is one with God. Spirit, the essence. You see, they say that the man, when you go to a funeral, they say he has left. Then people are crying, but the body is lying there. Why are people crying when the body is lying there? They say he has left. Who has left? The owner of the building, the body, has left. That owner is spirit. That spirit is the one that God created in his image, because the Father we worship is spirit, and we are spirit, living in a body, experiencing a human life, and thinking that we are the body, and therefore making a very big mistake. Now, spirituality reverses the situation. Today you hear, you are not the body, you are the spirit. How do you go back into finding out that you are the spirit and not the body? Becomes the next level of our discussion. Okay, so
I think I've still not gotten my answer. The spirit that is in us, that you said it is God.
Is God, yes.
I want to know if God is the same as the Creator or the Supreme Being.
God is the same as the Creator, the Supreme Being, the universal absolute, the entire universe.
So we are the supreme beings.
Absolutely.
So we created the universe, the heavens and everything. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the spirit in us. The spirit in us is one with the universal absolute. Don't mistake it all. If you're thinking you are the body and you're thinking that you are the mind, then you can't also assume the identity that you are the spirit, because the spirit is beyond the body. It is beyond the senses, beyond the mind, beyond anything I can talk about right now. It is on its own. But that is who we really are.
We are going to talk about that. That's your topic, honestly. You are watching The Biggest. I have 2 questions for you. Then we move or jump into your main topic. Okay, so right now, when you were talking, you said that Christianity has washed the mission or the spiritual aspect of us, or what we are actually supposed to know. Christianity, religion, let me use the word religion, is actually not giving it to us, like it has whitewashed it, or whichever you use the word. Why do you say so? How?
Okay, for instance, we know in Christianity, because we're generally all Christians, right? So I'll use Christianity. And because I'm not a Muslim, I don't want to go and venture into their matters. You know, Muslims, they don't like you talking about their stuff.
Are you scared of them?
No.
Is it because Christianity is easy to talk about without fear? They won't punch your nose for you?
Maybe. Maybe. I prefer the non-violent way, you know.
So are you scared? Are you a coward?
No, not scared.
Are you coming to tell us the truth?
I'm telling you the truth.
So why do you take some people out?
Let me use Christianity.
Okay, you go ahead.
Christianity. You know, in the Christian faith, they have the Orthodox Christians, and then they have the Gnostic Christians. Now, the Gnostic Christians are the ones who practice the occult teachings of Jesus Christ. You understand? Mm-hmm. In the occult teachings of Jesus Christ, someone like Judas Iscariot is a totally different person than how he's described in the Bible. Judas Iscariot was actually even the most loved of Jesus's disciples. He's the one who was really close to him. Mary Magdalene is not spoken about at all in the Christian faith. Mary Magdalene's gospel is almost the size, 2 sizes of our Bible. Thomas, the doubting Thomas, who, you know, we talk about as almost flimsily, he was brilliant. There is a gospel according to Saint Thomas that is also left out. Now, these gospels, within them, Jesus gives the truth. You understand? Jesus was a teacher. He wanted to present what he had known to all mankind. So you know that there's a place that he says, if you do what I do, if you practice the things that I practice, you will do greater things than I have done. Right? You've heard that one before. Good. So these things, those practices were taken out of the Bible. Maybe some priests might know, but they don't give it to the congregation. It's assumed that, you know, there's something that they say that do not throw diamonds before swine, because they won't understand. But the time has come. We are all mature. The human consciousness has risen. We're not in the time of Christ. You understand? The times have come, the times have changed. Mankind needs to know the real truth. So the Gnostic teachings must be made public so that people will read them and understand that practices like meditation were also taught by Jesus, because that's the only process that the person can actually internalize and find out whether there are different levels of awareness within him or herself.
Okay, so right now, these things that we've left out of the Bible and the church, is it somebody's doing, or it is we that decide not to find it?
As for us, we're Africans, right? We had our own traditional beliefs before the Christians came and brought us the Bible as they had written it, the King James one, which they had written. So we'll assume that they were the ones who took out the heavy substance. And they took it out not particularly for us. They had taken it out for their own population. You understand? They had propagated this washed down thing and held their people down. You can imagine a small monarchy of people ruling millions of people. So the monarchy, which was the state, and the church came together to a decision on how to keep people suppressed. And they gave out this thing that we call today Christianity. And it suppressed the European peoples themselves for hundreds of years before they brought it into Africa. So it wasn't like it was deliberate too. It was, you know, they knew what. So
are you saying religion or Christianity is a control mechanism?
Yeah, to a large extent.
And what has it caused Africans? You see, as a continent?
The mind that we have is limitless. It's not something that can be restricted. But when it is restricted, then it means you assume certain things are beyond you, or certain things are not for your domain. Certain things you say, that they are devilish. You get it? Like they say those things are pagan. Those things, those terminologies were used deliberately to stop people from seeking. But if you look into the Bible, it tells you from the beginning, knock, the door will be opened. Seek, you will find. Ask, and you will be, and the answers will come. Do we ask? Do we seek? Do we knock on the doors of knowledge to find out the truth about who we really are? We don't. And why don't we? Because religion keeps us in that straitjacket where we don't want to know. We don't want to know the unknown. We think the unknown is dangerous, but it's not.
Okay, so my last question, then we get into your topic. Mm-hmm. Right now, you said that you were trained in a particular place that all you knew about was atheism. Now, you came to meet your mother's book, mm-hmm. and then it gets on, and now you've gotten here. Mm-hmm. To gain your consciousness or to know who you are, mm-hmm. is it for everybody or is for a particular people? If yes, if no, why? Then you add this for me. No, answer this first.
Everybody is already seeking.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is already seeking. So far as the spirit is born in a human being, it is seeking. It is seeking to know the truth already. So everybody is already on the path towards knowing who they really are. Some will know in a lifetime. Some will have to die and be born again so that they will come and learn again. Some people die and be born. Me like this, I probably had about 100 lives. But now I'm seeking for the real truth because I've tasted it and I know it's there. Do you understand?
Somebody will ask, I don't want to go into reincarnations because it will eat into our time. Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you, why or what made you think you have to come back here? Do we have to die and come back here?
The ancients, you know, all knowledge about God actually began from Africa. Africa is the source of all knowledge. The pyramids in Egypt were the first time that it was written down. On the walls of the pyramids of Egypt, this knowledge is there. It was this knowledge that was sent out into places like India, China, and became their religions also. You understand? So it's I think I've lost your question.
You've not lost it. I want to know if it's for everybody.
So it's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody. If you're only seeking to know.
If you're only seeking.
Yeah.
Were you seeking when you were studying there? Were you seeking for the truth?
No.
You were not seeking for the truth?
I wasn't. I was studying economics.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I was looking for. I was looking for a degree.
Okay.
So when I got my degree, I thought, yes, now...
So you were not seeking, but
no.
your mother laid a kind of a foundation for you. You can't talk about this without him. Hey.
Exactly.
So your mother laid a foundation for you.
Exactly.
So someone is watching us right now.
Mm-hmm.
If we, gaining consciousness or knowing who we are is for everybody. People are watching us. How do I kickstart? Your mother helped you to kickstart. Is there any ways? One who doesn't have anybody, one who is watching us, how do I do this? Any strategies? Give me 3.
So I asked the same thing, so that like reading this book that I had, my mother's book. So it went on and it says, you need to reprogram your mind. You need to re-engineer your mind because your mind has been conditioned to see your body, to see other bodies, to see other things, and see yourself as separate. But you need some kind of re-engineering. And that re-engineering is usually done by, in the Indians, they call it mantra. They keep chanting something. But my teacher, wanting it to be universal, said it's through the repetition of the name of God, if you keep repeating the name of God within you, silently within you, it transforms your inner being until at a certain point these teachings start to make sense to you. They say the name of God is God. When you say elephant, there's no elephant here, but we can immediately start to imagine what an elephant is, right? It's the same way that when you pronounce the name of God, then immediately the characteristics of God come into the mind. They start to work inside the mind. The entire body is an embodiment of knowledge. The heart, the lungs, everything, all those things are all part of this whole thing. It's put so wonderfully by John in the Gospel according to John. In the beginning, he says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. The Word, the
Word became flesh.
The Word became flesh in the end, but then he goes on to say that Word became life. Life, the life that we have. We are alive. Life. That Word became light. The light of men and women, but the light that they know not, because they walk in darkness. That light descended on this earth as Jesus Christ and came and taught us the way to go back to the Father. That light, which I described initially as pure consciousness. Pure consciousness. So when it's pure, then it has all the power. But when it is adulterated, conditioned by life, you are born, you come and lie on your mother's thighs, and then she smiles at you and says, "Oh, Akwesi," you understand, and she keeps calling you Akwesi, Akwesi. It gets into your mind, right? So pure consciousness now takes on a name, Akwesi. Then when you were born, pure consciousness, you thought everything was part of you. But now, all of a sudden, everything is separate from you. You start to take on to things. You say, this is mine. That is mine. The person who claims things to be theirs is called the ego. So the ego starts to be built. So the ego gradually is built on until it replaces and pushes to the side pure consciousness. Then we start to live.
So you are saying, if I understand you, you are saying that Jesus Christ is consciousness.
Pure consciousness.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Pure consciousness. Okay, so the Jesus we mentioned in church, since you decided to center yourself in Christianity, that's why I'm saying church. The Jesus we preach there, the one we pray to, the one you've been in church, so you know. Is that the same consciousness, or do you see that pure consciousness there?
That becomes a difficulty now, because the one we're listening to or listening about in the church has been made a body. It has been made a human being. It has been given form. Then a name has been attached to it. Just like I am sitting here and my name is Nana Kusa. That's the same way Jesus has been seen. And given form, you now have to pray to that form. You've reduced something that was formless into something with form. You understand? Now that you've reduced it to something with form, you have made it separate from you. You are Jesus, I am Jesus. Do you get that? So far as we're all pure consciousness, we're all spirit, as Jesus in his original form. You are Jesus, I am Jesus, he is Jesus, so is the dog Jesus, so is the star Jesus, so is the moon Jesus, the sun is Jesus. Everything is Jesus, assuming that Jesus and God are one. Right? Right? Now, if we go to church, and now they're telling you to pray to something external, they're not telling you about the Jesus that lives in you, that can do miracles, the Jesus that lives in you that can create inventions, the Jesus that lives in you that can create technology, create a way out of our bondage. then obviously there is something going on that is somebody else is manipulating this church. Maybe it doesn't belong to Jesus. I don't want people to get upset. I don't want to upset people. But the truth of the matter is that maybe the church is being run by Satan.
Satan?
Yes.
You don't want to offend people, Mponi.
Mponi.
You are watching the biggest. So me, I didn't say anything. In fact, I am not available. I'm not.
I said maybe.
Who now the baby asha? Say I say oka sabe dey undi obi atem. Ana me bother. And you the maybe asha on to wan kasa nkunkunku. You are watching the biggest and the largest. Can baby sana say bi ba o dey me fancy her. Ye enko topic ni mu because o dey ye fancy her. Me bi sana sem na answer. Satan.
I almost spoke tree. Me can't tree kakra.
Ah, BBO.
Yo. Now wo ka.
Nti wa o teach na nti wo so many pa brezi.
Now wo ka. Now ka. Die na wo si ye. Oh. Aye be hunu no kre no. E wo si ye hunu se Nyankopon ni dini no. To me wom. And it is yeah enisanke ya ba what you say anke yanka Jesus keke na bebia enji bebia enji ye mu nyina enwura ye hudie mu nyina so te ase na afi enye nioma emfa ye mu enye nioma wo ye wiase mu.
Make this thing clear. We should shout Jesus, the persona or the pure consciousness.
The pure one. The pure one.
When you concentrate,
because persona no say kwesi bro ni bi the photo bi aba.
And yes Satan.
Kwesi bro ni bi the photo bi breye yo. And we say Jesus na mo oba ye no ni photo nie. Enti ye kan Jesus pe na ya adwene ko photo no so. Me dey say na ye me. Time bia me bo Jesus din bia no me kai photo no. Sort as you sanka me nim pure consciousness say wo ho say ampa bibi wo ho form bi wo ho ametimi aye aware say na nyameti a anka de mi huna ni kwasi bro ni photo no na odisi wo no say eno ni Jesus no.
What can we do to change this?
Yenya na making yen frɛ rade ye sori anopa yenya mre.
So what's not cancer for rade ni Jesus? What's the difference?
Ade krona yen frɛ rade say odin bebre. Sort as ye me Freddy fufro so be frɛ wo de eye wo ba eye wo de obia wo din a wo fra eye ne de eye wo de no eno na obisom eno na be ye adwuma wo mu.
My last question, someone who is practicing the Jesus, the pure consciousness, what is he or she Maame Kara Honichi obia or practicing the persona who go to church, focus on, like you said, obi so are all practicing the full or the pure consciousness Christ, you know. Or no, so this what to say.
Ono so quite sorry, sir.
Sorry, dear.
There one more kobina.
So which is which? The Satan church.
There more kobina. Intiasie. And a different so. Se me te ho. Me quite sorry. Me quite sorry na minim. Se ne me som no enye ono no photo nie medim se ne me som no otimi mu minim se me bompa ya ehia se me tiatia mu aka chiro bia
so sorry dem on duty one nkrofo no so tiatia ma which is which
me baby me ya me de
onko na
me de wo me mu
the sofo no so kan so
wo ria so aka ne de me
opa so mu tu wa sorry ho pa
wo kan emfa se me ntimi nka ho hwe na me ja ma fa ne sa no
ntimi so nka hwe
me come baby
so mu tu wa so me na mka cho mo mu tu
baby me ti ho na mu
aye jam one asi aso
me ti ho na mu
100 lives
me ti ho na mu e bia na me boa e me binum so ehwe kase papa yi ade na ne ye ti sei ene bia na
send the one light will shine for a lot of people to watch. But let me get this thing clear wahani and twasu. The name is John KOFI TETEGAH. And I san from Nana Akosa.
Aye.
Why is it so?
Me papa ene de TETEGAH. Me papa ya adani ena me fanso ne fanso so free agbozome.
Okay.
Nti o ware me maame. Me maame ya santini.
Okay.
Me maame ne friend comforter Samoa.
Okay.
Ti comforter Samoa no akonya fie akonya.
And I bet you no.
And
so which because you can't be TETEGAH and be Akosa at the same time. But
it's
clear now.
Money clear, so said Mindia Kunya say.
Where fish?
Me free so. Me diama busia dia maminia kuma ema ono na say otis no. Said ya me wu a me bit me ashime.
It's another question you answer, but my time is actually running. In fact, we've had a president, I had opportunity to be closer to know when we started this spirituality thing 25 years ago. He died. I was closer before he died. And when he died, we picked some of the, oh no, he was a vice president. We picked some of his intestines and we went to throw it in the middle of the sea, and we also burned the body. Because of the love and respect he has for me, he told his family to make sure I am part of those rituals. So I witnessed it. So maybe we'll talk about this. I'll call you to come and talk about it one day. Since you have the mind in doing that, means you have some kind of knowledge about it. But I don't want to get into it because it's a huge topic. Yes. So if I get into it, we will, deviate or divert a bit. So I'm not going to go there. But I hold your leg for that. So if they call you to come and talk about it, I promise the public, because at least promise them. So if you don't come, they know you.
Oh, I'll come. I promise.
So we come and talk about it. You are watching the biggest, the largest, call me Mama Consciousness and a Queen of Consciousness. Abi, you know that where the like it's something that is there. Abi, you know. Today we are going to talk about my favorite topic. Who am I? Man, know thyself. This is what we preach on this platform. So you are eventually coming to talk about this platform. So please, I won't say pim, but nail it for me.
Who am I?
Papa, who am I? How do we know that ourselves? Please take us through.
Who am I? We know we are multi-dimensional beings, right? We are awake right now. I can see you, I can see the floor, I can see around me. But we also go to sleep. When we sleep, we don't see anything. Everything we're unconscious of. We also dream. When we dream, we see people. Everything is created within us. When we wake up, we find out, that was a dream. Even during the day, we do something called daydreaming. So we are multidimensional. So we can't really place whether it is the deep sleep that we really become who we are, or it is in the waking state when we can see our bodies, which is real, or the dream one, which is real. We just assume. We assume that when we are awake, that is the most important one, because that one somehow, there's repeated consciousness. It is repeated. Morning comes, evening comes, then the same, you wake up, you're in the same place, and therefore we assume that that one is the most reality for us. But it's questionable. Now, the human being is the only entity on the earth that has the capability of reasoning. All other beings, including even the angels, are jealous of us because of our power of reason, because the human being was created with limitless reasoning power. So we can reason enough to be able to come up with which of these states of being. Because there's waking, there's deep sleep, there's dreaming, there's daydreaming, and there's also one that is called the superconscious state. Superconscious state. If you remember, since we're Christians, at a certain time in the Gospel of Jesus, he calls himself a messenger. Then at a certain time, he calls himself the Son of God. Then at a certain time, he says, I and the Father are one. These are different states of consciousness, which eventually lead to that oneness. Now, it's not for just Jesus, it's for all of us. So, but we're not questioning, we're not seeking, we're satisfied with the conditioning, and therefore we live half-hearted lives. But it's not the same for all peoples. There are secret societies that actually teach how people can find answers to the question, who am I? Today we're going to make some of those things open.
Go ahead.
So, addressing the question now to myself, I also realize that I have a body. Then I have senses. I can see. I can hear. Right? Then I have a mind that thinks. Then I have an intellect that also reasons and is able to tell whether this is good or evil, whether that is pleasurable or preferable, whether that is black or white. You understand? All the opposites. My reasoning is able to give me those answers. Right? Mm-hmm. So these are the ones that are known to me. Is there anything else beyond these? Is there anything that I'm not conscious about? Are there sounds that I can't hear? Are there things that I can't see with my eyes? Are there things that I can't talk about or taste if I want to eat? You realize that yes, there are. If there are, then how do I get to them? We must seek knowledge. First things first. Seek the knowledge. Like everybody on your show today is hearing maybe for the first time. You are not who you think you are. You are super consciousness. You are pure consciousness that has taken on a human form so that it can know itself. God takes on the human form, the universal absolute, divides itself into many so that it can know itself and love itself. So through the power of love, we gradually grow to come and realize who we are. How does this power of love work? As we grow up, we come to realize that at a certain point in our lives that when the other person is happy, we find happiness within us. When we forgive the other person for doing something to us, we find happiness. How come I'm forgiving him for doing something to me and now I'm free? Or when we give to other people, we find a certain pleasure.
You feel bad in hurting people.
Yes, and you feel bad in hurting people. When somebody's house is burning, Ajay! When you hear somebody is dying, you feel that, there's something happening over there that is here. So we start to question. That's where it's not everybody who, when they feel these things, they will let it go. You must question. So you go inside. Inside of us, this spirit lives. It lives as our conscience. If you realize that at a certain point in life, you're about to do something, and then a voice inside you tells you, don't do it.
I'm saying Nyame voice, no Brunsam voice.
Then another one inside you tells you, no.
Koswe. Then uncle for 2 way or enemies, you mean that nipa bakum.
Na waka ono no ba ha e no beka kire o ze ne enemy ni. Esum ene ehan
Obi about 12 hours.
Oh, now, are back one kwama bagu mother. What to say be a omo akonda.
Omunya time for
me. Debi. Omo no omo sha die so. Womu ni hwa e bede na ye develop it. So womu eni hwa e bede ni anya test. Ye nya testing mu e na wo overcome test na wo kwa wanim. So ho. Enti ne nim ye nu nyina tie mu.
To aso e.
Ti wo asori ni e ma wa ba se bro abonsama ya hwe ni ye.
Obo ho. You are watching the biggest and the largest. Obo ho we ase.
Obo ho.
Baba na hunem
ni. Obo ho papa. Cause onu de otimu o se bra.
Unnecessary
beatings. Wo de wi a me enko. So wo be wie free asori ho. Wie na osi kwan mu go na mo kwa. Eno obegi no ho adi.
To aso e.
Enti sa ye friend say
voices no.
Sa ye friend say analysis ya ye. Ye di hunu say ye wo bibi tie mu. Sa de kro no ebetimi a kire ye ama sa ade ya ye friend no conscience eno moma ba bedi animu. Na de ye friend mind no ana ye metu ni din ego no eno a piano konchen sort ase na che say pure consciousness ni be dia nimu dia na che say wo kọ wanim wo ben wo goal say wo be hunu no kre say ai nipa eni nyame eye baako nipa ono ni nyame.
Na nipa so ne bronsam ye dey.
Nipa ne bronsam so eye baako until ye be pia sa part no ne ye lower no ansa na obehunu se nyame ne di kan no je se wo suppress adwene no and you can say say thy will be done. You say forget the ending. You can't say Lord thy will be done
as it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven. Give us our daily bread. Sa your friend say prayer no. So obedru sa thy will be done na. Ye hunu say Awurade ehihye nioma ema ye. Enso so no yes so ye wo ne ye so ye hwehwe. Enti time bia no de ye hwehwe no ne de no asi animu. De ebia na asem bi ato sa asem no eno ena ye waje nkwa enso so no wudwin say your friend say
we always look for our comfort when we want
that we look for the comfort of the body because we assume
that is what is important. And
in so doing we give up the fruits of the spirit. The fruits, the benefits of the spirit are immense. Albert Einstein, Newton, who call Munina and Troyema, who be hunu, say, Womunina, no womo do almost a can be, and a ye be chile or will be a wire, a dear be a yes room, could be a bibia, ni we are seeing more free soon more. And to see a tosum sum cone, near Casa Honamno, any ye, near Honamna pedian qua, near very head, yeah.
A case.
And you're not.
That the thing is, Honamno cannot give up on the spirit, but the body can decide not to stay in the Honam again, and you can't do anything about it.
Decide not to stay.
Yes, the spirit can decide to, and you can't do anything about it.
So
why do you care about the car than the driver?
Exactly.
You are watching the biggest and the largest. Me, I'm not. I don't agree with you. I'm just saying. You do. You are watching the biggest, the largest, the highest, and the greatest. We are the most biggest spiritual platform, and we are putting our country, Ghana, on the map. Yes, positively. Yes, we are preaching consciousness to Africa, so we are able to liberate ourselves and our continent as people. Black nation, consciousness for you. So Papa, continue.
So once we set ourselves on the path, once we know the goal, spirituality is very interesting. It starts from the goal. and ends at the goal. It tells you from the very beginning, you are spirit. At that point in time, you have no knowledge of what even spirit means. You understand? You only know, well, you are CBB or Hosa. But wouldn't at the crop. Tell so spirit and only day. I dear try and who is she in you sum. No cre no. A Viana Ebono, you sum. Assassin and Namsono, you sum. Yen and nanum no crena no woman and no no creno. And no pan no creno, and anything your friend is say, your fan said there are forms of God that it be in sio. Your fan said forms of God they be a bo. And non say a bo no na nyamio. Intin who boa na fe wo. Debi nipa o hunu bo no. So ye nyame.
They were just reverencing it.
Yes. Well, we
give
hwehwe Nyankopon. Ye hwehwe Nyankopon akwan no. Ye hia bibia ye be som. Tisa de honami ye hunu ni a ye timi som ya ye hu se ai
you need something as a token
tangible,
to represent
God.
Na nantwie twa ne moja sem na be ka ho na it was a part.
Ni nyina ka ho. Ni nyina ka ho e wo de e kire ye symbolical. E kire se e wo so hwere bibi.
Na wanya
bibi. O so hwere honam. Ansa na wanya sumsum. Ye kire wo bibi.
Cause and effect.
Wa anye we ya wunya we. So but I know nkyerɛ sɛ ade na wo ye no no ne no kre no.
But you've heard that ye nananom mo saa niema na omo ye nti ni yakodi ye ho aka adwam.
Sɛ ne wo bi na eka.
Obi ho anye wo nuanom asofo wo hu omo.
Debi so wo musua fi baabi.
Okay. The ever blame
Yemfa nipa wo de saa nkyerɛkyerɛ no brɛ ye no.
Uwi amama wayi akọ.
Nipa wo
di blame na
nipa wo de saa nkyerɛkyerɛ no brɛ ye no. Yen frɛ no ni emisa no ono ne nananom na omu nkunwan ono ne nananom no se na omu susu kunwan ni bi ai adai your friend say bring me a sacrifice ya Nyankopɔn ya Yehowa wan kan kyerɛ ne Abraham so nkofa ne bamra
omu se no di agro did I say that
ai otimi di agro
okay
adai see ye di agro nti onu so timi di agro
to aso
enti inkyerɛkyerɛ ya na wo se wo hwehwem ihwe Bible no mu a ya na yadwen se ye ya akra ye de ye water down no baby wo hɔ a Yesu ka se if thine eye
becomes single,
body
becomes full of light.
The whole body shall become full of light. And you say, I bear na no or can ho asem. Na dey ukotu ani ba ko ani ye mienu. If thine eye becomes single, the third eye, the pineal gland, bibi wo ye tri mu ha. Ho no nyame eye total.
Acho wo kwa sorry ben.
Me. Na say me sorry. E ben ma kwa sorry.
We catch us on two so what two?
Me ko jam yire.
Ukoja no.
Ya ko jam yire.
Me ba so be fia tu no wa sorry ho.
Me ba akro nim say me ba bia bi say.
Can you imagine? Okay, to also the pineal gland.
To the pineal gland. Yesu aka pineal gland ho asem. Me na so hwe your friend say your social media any ade a who say pineal gland yen bibi foforo. E wo your Bible num. And so ye asuafo na ye esua no ene akyerefo nipa na e kyere no wo bia nya na adwene say o fifi mu.
That's not it too. The Christendom see that thing as an evil something. I'm telling you this. They see it as evil, and they are not translating that scripture and say it simply means that be content with what you have, but not anything like a beans in the brain. That's not it. Continue.
And then you know, so said they are here. Asem no the whole Bible no, the whole and yet I said yakwa akoto sekan na eda ho na obi ewu na ye be diagnose ni ye be forensic wo sekan no ho nyina na be an sekan ene kun nipa kro no what you say enso so no ye mfa sobo no embo sekan nipa na o de ne nsa ye no saa na scripture no ewo ho nipa na o interpreting no a wo se de Yesu kan ye nie no ono na wo se de sobo no bo no
papa to so ye nja o ye ni time ye bo sobo
enti e wo se ye hwehwe ye ya ye nwuman mu a ye be hunu bi no krepa ye nka nyame wo ye baako Christopher ntimi nwo wo mu nyame na Muslim fo enwo wo mu nyame na Hindu fo enwo wo mu nyame edin keke ene eye different enso so no ene form aye mano no ene eye different what you say enso nyame krona ene wo ho enye nyame bebre nokre krona ene wo Bible num sa nokre krona ne wo Bhagavad Gita mu sa nokre krona ne wo Quran numu nokre na entino when hunu ne ha ubi hunu ne ha so wo restrict wo hu say me tina wiase me yesi your friend say me Kristo ni enti King James version kwa na menkan dia ene na say wara if you say Kristo anka wo ba bia da say kokan King James version ye hunu wo book num ba bia see atro say King James version bi kra wo ho scripture is scripture Yesu na mum no a ye kan ho asemi wo di 12 years no he no koi ye kan say ye yi na free saa ba bi owo no ne de na kɔ ba bia okoka nipa no ho a obɛfra ye hunu no he no koi wo ko Egypt adenti ne de no ko Egypt se na nko ye broni anka de no ko to Egypt no anka sanka ene na we papa no na ekono nko chi no mra ye de no ko Egypt dia no ko Egypt okoye ofri Egypt no wo baby asa 3 wise men na wo be hwe no time ye wo no baby anu wo mo fie bia wo ko ho Persia India Egypt ho nyina wo okotena dia no okosua wo mo esua nsem eninti na nyoma e wo Bible num no utimi koshia wo Bhagavad Gita num utimi koshia the same thing e wo Egypt walls no so cause no kre no e no kre trodo ensesa saa no kre na e wo ho enra no eno na wo ho ene eno na wo ebe wo ho china.
You are watching the biggest. Racism started not yesterday. If you don't know, go and ask Jesus' mother Mary. Time or who Jesus no. Until you use speed. Me nyam na mkan you papa na kan. Don't come and if that is the case. If that is the case that the Nokreno and the war all the books nimua, then the whitewash thing, where did it start from?
It started from Yebefane say religion. On religion dear, and yet your friend say Jesus, no nya Christian. Muhammad, who can pass na Muhammad your Muslim, and ya no cre. Your friend is a Krishna, no nya Hindu. Cause sa your money develop after preceptors ni free muno, and as your money organized delivery of the message no, or more messages na eba out. To say Christianity, to say Islam, to say we, to no crana de eye baako. Enye bebre.
Aye microphone e capitalize was so
your money. Capitalize was so and omo de pe de omo pe. So on say akoye business kra.
No how can you?
Me anam kan.
To aswe. So now we know who we are. That is not the one, the mechanism, but the energy that drives this mechanism is who we are. So we should understand, say, multi-dimension or multiverse. So we are able to explore. We should not be in one box. That is how to know who you are.
Exactly.
So now, when you say man know thyself, what is it?
Oh, it was an inscription that was written on the temples of Egypt, where all religion came from. Said, man, know thyself. Don't be deceived. Don't be deceived by life. Don't be deceived by your thoughts. Don't be deceived by your utterances and your actions into thinking that those utterances, actions, and thoughts are who you really are. You are beyond them. To know thyself, no, a honeda. Say, metimi ayya to wa mawa ankameyi. And so eye wana ne wose wo kokofhwehwe saa kwan no ewo wumu e wose wo ko wumu na wo hwehwe no kre no wotena se na wo ye din kakra bia ewo wumu a wo bete atenka me ana me time nkofo ti atenka kakra wo de hwe wo nsem wo hwe wo nsem a na yes, we feel the surface of one son. We feel the surface na now start to say, oh, dream say, oh, person call one son, muka crabia. When say, oh, the dead be say, oh, Betty, I think can be a one am no so to say, be ba. Sa, I think cano say, when yana crabby say, a one semua. Imagine said the tear wo mu wo wakoma mu wo wadwene mu wo organs are very powerful na wo body num no dwene said the tear enti yenye dua kwa on se ye nananom no omo nim no kra no e na omo kan se nipadua nie aden na omo tu ne dua sanke no ne ye ya aden na nkom betu ne dua kra no timu no no ne nkwa eno na enimu a ne yesi wawu sauti asie nti eno no ene wo se ye hwehwe ti se wo pe unya atenka wo bi se ya na wo hwe no no me ntimi yi ano ma wo so wo hwehwe me hwehwe me so me sika.
But does it have a limit where you should check up him?
There be a limitless. Trading upon only limit. Obia behwehwe akoduru ba bia obetimi aduro. Enso so no mo nwene se hwa na ekosi. Yewura no wo yetumi kese so hwehwe na benya ne kesiem so open kesiem a obenya you say what is epo eno wo se obia fagra wa mra
omesebi
no mesebi ebinum come the teacup ebinum come dom ko shepu num.
It's the same thing.
Oti ase no mo adane po no sana assembly.
Sana assembly, you are watching the biggest. I told you the other day, says Ukohu Mountain says si ho. Now pony and be befi. Now the besi one more is the same mountain. Just that what pony be now they are befi. Say to me, delve deeper into these kind of words. We are able to do ourselves a great service. Papa, your time no is almost due. So in 3 minutes, I want you to advise us as public, how we should think, how we should know ourselves, how we should know what is God, how to know this is who I am. Mimie, into no dear who no dear men can say we like mimie. How do you advise us and where to go and where not to go, what to focus and what not to focus? Advice in the end center around there, and then the youth who are also drinking a whole lot of things, trying to see angels and the kahono. Almost so no the advice are what the mom fabum na famo mame.
The American say Nyankopon ne wisdom muno or the bo nipa say nipa and yet the pinnacle of the creation yena ye ni nikan ye ne en dominate bibia wo asase so se wo hwehwe bibi wo enisuade bi a wo hwehwe na wo hwehwe na abonten a se enisuade no wo hu no kowumu bibi how na wo pese wo find the answer cry wo se wo ya menwin se answer no be free abonten ba bi aba kowumu bisa wo ho nukredie mu wo bisa wo beti atenka wo beti nukre no efri wo mu se wo start se wo use sa de we e de bo wo bra emfa ho se wo ye kristoni ana wo ye muslim ni ana wo ye hindu ni wo be ye christian papa wo be ye muslim papa wo be ye hindu papa ti afutu am de be mamamfo ane se me enja ye honam no nto yesi yakoma or say love thy Lord with all thy heart now the bear mu no na de na no wo ka ho asem e be de na wo de wakoma nyina ho say wo fall in love pa na say oba ni free hu aya na say wo te bibia say ye be anya broken heart sa na wo do nyame oh say yetimi do nyame sa de ye hwehwe nyina shall be added unto you. The kingdom of heaven is within. Seek it, and you all things shall be added.
Amen. The young ones, almost full say consciousness is about angels. In 1 minute, would you touch base when you come next time?
In 1 minute, no. Bibia ni wa sa external things no beti me diamount. Me papa me teacher na mum no. Or Troy or say wo pe high pa ye high try nyame hwe try nyame ne mum na ne high no ono no de wo ka ho asem with all thy mind, all thy heart, all thy strength seek me ne hwe tramolo ganja o hwan o emu bia ni ho a eben sa high no. What you say? Ai nyankopon the super high. Enti se wo pe high pa dia jaisa external things no ne wura fauti wura mu kokohwehwe wa wurade ye nananom ka obia wo na wurade obia ne nyame nananom sa so ka nyame wu na mewu so wonam ne wu anka miwu a and aden mewu
eno ye di nkra sembo abusia nyame wu na mewu ye di nkra sembo you don't know.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's a ye di nkra sembo nyame wu na mewu
you say ye want no kra we ye new
yeah mo social symbol no fan to screen so man crofo no mo I think I've done a bit of it nyame wu na mewu ye di nkra
good
symbol. Thank you so much for coming, Papa. Abusia, just raise the vibration high. Get into the higher frequency so you are able to change things all by yourself. This is what we call consciousness. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And I'm reminding you to keep your promise.
It's a pleasure.
So, Abusia, so we here the second time and our life. Now, why we be no questions, so I'll just drop it in the comment section. You come and tell us why people die and they want them to be. Is it because you are fire element? What's the secret about that? You come and talk about it
next time.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching the largest, the highest, and the greatest African spiritual platform. I'm always your adorable host, the Queen Macrao.